The bullet would be proof. Maybe he thought that the bullet would be used as proof? Proof? It was a special bullet, so he took it with him. If that was the case, then he would have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh? Well, that is because the murderer wasn't able to get the bullet from inside the elevator since, well, it was inside Gregory at that point, right? Why would he only take one of the 2 shots fired? Right. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? I'm going to have to penalize you. God damn it. This isn't going so well. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? I'm asking you again. Actually... The murderer didn't need it? Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't gotten a clue! What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah! The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Had to take it. The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright? Think why the bullet had to be taken? Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Oh, for instance what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? Oh! Oh, okay, that's it! It's not like the murderer had any intention of trying to find the bullet in the first place, but rather, he had no choice. And yep, there you go! Jackpot, baby! I mean, that's it. The murderer must have got hit with the first shot that Edgeworth triggered. Like, the one that went through the glass. And then he hears that scream. That... Okay, what about the blood, though? I mean, if someone got shot outside the elevator, clearly there should have been some blood pattern, right? I mean, in that case, how come we haven't found any of that in the files? There was nothing that told us that something else happened outside the elevator. The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? I mean, maybe the murderer had time to clean the blood after he got hit. I mean, that could be the explanation. It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head. But what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So, at the time the murderer himself was shot, and he left with a second bullet still inside, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime? I mean, that would explain why the glass was broken, but now the following question remains. Where does the second bullet that kills Gregory Edgeworth come in? I mean, the murderer weapon was inside the elevator at all times. I mean, unless told otherwise. I mean... the bullet must have come from the same murder weapon. Thus, I mean, it is said right here because of the ballistic markings. It's not like it came from a completely separate murder weapon from outside the elevator. I mean, used by the murderer. So, the question still remains of how the murderer got inside. Yes, I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from the elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then, the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the man inside. Of course! Like, Edgeworth must have fallen unconscious after that. And same for Yogi. Thus, Manfred would be able to open the door, pick up the same murder weapon, and kill the only one left standing. And that is Gregory Edgeworth. I mean, good Christ, I thought that the elevator doors were stuck though. I thought that the elevator doors were stuck because of the earthquake. I mean, knowing that the door can open would make sense for our theory, but otherwise they should have been closed, right? I mean, that's why they were stuck in the first place. What the hell? Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I cannot think of anyone.
Hey Nick.
Huh?
I just thought of something really crazy.
Crazy?
Remember what Mr. Grosbeck said yesterday?
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record.
Wow.
It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he has taken in his many years of prosecuting.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock?
But because of the bullet wound. Of course! Why, you're a genius! That has to be it! But took it because he was injured.
Which would mean...
It could only mean one thing.
he was the murderer in the DL6 incident.
He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth.
It was Von Karma!
Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Oh. Should I come out and say it now? Save it for a better time. Yeah, fucking say it now! Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? Yeah, my hands are shaking. Come on, you can do it. It's not like Manfred is gonna come after you and kill you the same way he did with Gregory Edgeworth. Like, because you mentioned his name. I mean, that would be stupid. What? Von Karma! Von Karma? You mean Z von Karma? The prosecutor? Sitting right there? Bah! You don't object? I see no need. Why honors this ridiculous outburst fit my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? Indeed. You won't take a vacation because of, feeling ill all of a sudden or something. But because you are trying to recover from your injury back in the DL6 incident. So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctors that operated on me. Have him testify. Ugh. Oh, Christ. I mean, did Grossberg ever mention any doctor when he told us that he took a vacation? I don't think he did.
Nick, let's find out who his doctor is.
It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He won't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. Didn't undergo surgery? Well, what is that supposed to mean? Okay, yeah. He wouldn't undergo surgery because if he did, then he would leave clear evidence behind. But in that case, how the hell did he get the bullet out of him? You not just put it out of it yourself. That or he went to a fake doctor, one that he worked with, and went into surgery without leaving any evidence, without leaving any documents. We don't even know about this doctor. That will leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect.
So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane.
No, he couldn't have. You cannot just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait a minute. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere. But where? Well, Mr. Wright. Can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Oh my god. Are you for real? I mean, if he didn't go to a doctor, nor would he be able to get the bullet out himself, then that could mean only one thing. Oh my god. Are you freaking serious? Alright, Von Karma. I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is... Oh my god, are you for real? Is that why we kept the metal detector with us? For this? Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. What? Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, I'm really glad that we saved it for a rainy day. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Oh! Oh! He's sweating! He's fucking sweating! I cannot believe this! We're legitimately cornering Manfred here for like the first time! He's feeling threatened for the first time ever! He's fucking sweating! I refuse! You refuse? But refusing this means... You acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Oh! He's refusing! He's acknowledging it! Order! 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 Silence in the courtroom, you freaking idiots! You're all witnessing the biggest and most powerful magic spell in the existence of magic itself! Let the epicness ensue! Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy! The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. Oh, my god. All the epicness over here. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing.
Nick, what does this mean?
I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. Idiot! Something's inside his right shoulder. Ah, magnifique. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen. And so, I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DO6 incident. I claim that a bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DO6. Nah, I don't believe it. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is you who must prove something here, Mr. Wright. Not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DO6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DO6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? Sorry to burst your perfectionist bubble, Manfred Von Karma, but there is proof. You are close. 1 day away from freedom. You see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would have dug your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. Indeed. Here's the final proof, Manfred von Karma. The DL6 bullet that still bears clear ballistic markings. With it, we can tell for sure what weapon shot this bullet. Which means... That's... a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used on the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial, 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. And given that we're talking about the murder weapon, which tells us that it was shot twice, then this would tell us that both the bullets have the same ballistic markings. Which means the bullet inside your shoulder should have the same ballistic marking as the one we have. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets have been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case, once and for all. Well, Mr. von Karma? That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help! I cannot breathe! Quiet! I said quiet! You're not making this any easier! Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air!
Get away! Get away from my father!
It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma? Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me! So, it was you. Case closed. And I hope you enjoyed today's magic show, folks. Have a nice day. Kazing! You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulders that would never fade. I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! Death!
It's magic.
Mr. Chief Prosecutor, I'm sorry. Karma, It's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! You was a shock like none I had ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out in the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain. A horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then, it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge! What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now! End it! Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this base. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Ah! Oh my god! Finally! We won! We freaking won! We have defeated the unbeatable Manfred von Karma. Wow. Put that in my resume as well. I have survived killing games and me, Phoenix, Maya, Gumshoe, Larry, and Edgeworth managed to beat one of the most powerful enemies I think I ever encountered. Wow. That is all. The court is adjourned. In December 28th, 5:38 p.m. We have been in that trial for over. When did we start? Like 10 a.m. Over 7 hours by now. Holy moly! Talk about having a trial last as long. I mean, it surely isn't the first for me, but sheesh, even here they can last for weeks.